All right, let's talk about OnePlus. And this isn't the first time I've talked about them in a more negative way, and it probably won't be the last, but let's get started. And before I do, I want to make it clear, I'm not a hater. I don't have any untowards bias against OnePlus. I love the brand. I've bought many phones over the years from them for personal use and to review as well. And you know, there have been phones I've really loved. There's been phones I don't like, but overall, the brand has been doing some very cool stuff over the years. So to see where it's at right now, it really does hurt me a little bit. So it doesn't take an expert to realize that OnePlus isn't the same company that it was when it launched in 2014. That OnePlus One, the idea of being a flagship killer, the $300 price tag, that all seems to be a very distant memory now. Today, they sell very expensive phones. They're no longer flagship killers. They're just straight up flagships now. And the thing is, they seem to have not gotten the message that if you're a flagship, you really need to show up, and you can no longer rest on your laurels or rest on the fact that you have a competitively priced device or you're being a flagship killer. And over the years, I have consistently complained about the price increases of each phone and how OnePlus keeps getting more and more and more expensive as a brand. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy an expensive phone. Please don't get me wrong. I buy tons of expensive phones, and I don't think it's wrong to buy an expensive phone. What I don't think is right, though, is OnePlus's way of increasing their prices. The value proposition has very clearly changed over the last couple of years. And this OnePlus 9 and OnePlus 9 Pro that just came out yesterday, they follow that same trend. And, you know, when we look at it, in 2014, the OnePlus One came out at $300. And today, the OnePlus 9 Pro sells at $969 or $970. And let's just call it $1,000, right? Let's just round it off. $1,000. It costs $1,000. Well, if we compare it, let's go back to 2014. Look at Apple. Apple sold, I believe, the 6 and the 6 Plus in that same time frame. And if you bought the 6 Plus, it was $749, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I am, but I believe it was $749. And that was the more expensive phone of the two, or of the lineup. Today, the most expensive phone of the lineup is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It starts at $1,100. So there's about a $400 price increase there over the span of 7 years. Same way when we look at OnePlus, it's $300 to $969. That's a 200% increase in 7 years. If Apple were to follow the same trend, an iPhone today would cost well near $2,500, so about $2,500, which is insane when we think about it. It only really makes sense when you put it in comparison with another device, just to see how much the price has changed over the years. Now, it's not that they're selling the same phone for more money. Of course, things have changed. They've added more features. There's more to it all around. But still, just that incredibly massive price increase does hurt a little bit. And once again, just to make it very clear, I don't mind expensive phones. I've bought several over the last couple of years, but the thing about OnePlus, there's 3 things that bother me, and I'm just going to go quickly through them, and I'm not going to drag this video on too long. 3 major issues right now. Oxygen OS, it is so far off from what it started. If you guys remember, Oxygen OS, it was OnePlus began with CyanogenMod. CyanogenMod is a custom ROM that a lot of people put on their Android phones, and it's a lightweight, very quick, very responsive version of Android that works well on all kinds of devices, especially if you have less power to work with. CyanogenMod was known for that. That's why OnePlus used CyanogenMod when they first started, and after CyanogenMod and OnePlus couldn't work together anymore, OnePlus made Oxygen OS, which was very similar, but what it was basically was Google's own vanilla Android with just a few useful tweaks added in, and that's what it was for very, very, very long. But recently, in the last, I'd say 2 years or so, OnePlus has slowly been making their UI way more intense. It's become now to the point where it is no longer just a few little tweaks to Android. It is now a full-on skin on top of Android, very similar to One UI from Samsung or MIUI from Xiaomi. So this is like a big change from the beginning, and that's a big problem. Not only because the phone isn't good, but because I think a lot of people love the brand for that reason. Stock Android is something I think a lot of people like, me included, and I can't get away from the fact that it hurts every time I think about it, that Oxygen OS is so far away from what it was just a couple of years ago, just 2-3 years ago. I still have my OnePlus 6 and my 6T, and I still love those phones because Oxygen OS is just so good on them, and I haven't updated them because I just like them the way they are. Moving on to number 2, we have to talk about software updates. So OnePlus used to be very vocal about, we listen to our people, we give you guys software betas, we bring you in on like the development, we give you access, and we give you quick updates in turn. Everybody gets those updates super quick. And for a long time, they were one of the fastest updates. They gave you the fastest updates on the Android realm of things, but now it's not the case. Security updates in particular are horrendous right now. So this is, Android launches a security update every single month. And what happens is every single OEM preferably will send out a small update every month so that you can update that security patch and just, be up to date with those security updates, at least, even if you don't get new features and stuff. So OnePlus right now, the problem is they're really, really far behind. I have the OnePlus 8 Pro and I haven't gotten a security update since January. So the phone updated in Feb, and I haven't gotten, and even with that February update, it was only, the security patch was only up to January 1, 2021, and it's the end of March right now. So it's just so weird to look at a expensive phone from a brand that was known for their really good software updates, and now to see that they can't even keep up with something as simple as security updates, it really frustrates me, and it's just, I don't know why. It's absolutely annoying. Number 3, this is, I think, a big part of it. I think a lot of people will agree, their marketing. They are literally promising you the moon now with these new stupid Hasselblad cameras, but they just don't deliver. The hype is really what their marketing team serves around. They've been doing this for a long time, and they call them leaks, but they're not leaks. They're just literally revealing your phone as the launch date gets closer and closer. They reveal, it used to be they'd give you a small hint, like a small little design aspect or something, but now it's just come to the point where they literally show you the entire phone days before the launch, and it is so annoying. But even that point isn't as annoying as their hype. They will build up stuff like crazy. So this Hasselblad camera on the OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro, they have built this up so much over the last 2 months. A lot of hype, a lot of marketing, and they spent so much money, and they're gonna continue to spend money on this in the future. But really what they're doing is they're expecting you to just kind of fall for the hype and then not really follow through, and when you use the phone, not realize that this isn't the best you can get. This has been a case for OnePlus repeatedly, and I just can't get over it. Their marketing really, really is good at overhyping things, even though they're just average. And for some reason, customers don't seem to get pissed off when they clearly should be when they don't get what they're, being advertised. So all this just goes to further prove my point that OnePlus is no longer the company it was back in 2014, back even in 2016 or 17. They have completely changed, and they are a very different company than they were today. So what needs to change? I'm not just going to make this a negative video. I'll tell you exactly what I think OnePlus needs to change. Number 1, they need to find a price point and stick to it. Every time, every new launch, they can't just keep upping the price. It's like there's no end to it. Find a price point, stick to it, and work within it. Your OnePlus 9, the lower level OnePlus has become so confusing over the last couple of years. The 7, the 7T, the 8, the 8T, the 9. Like, what price range are you trying to battle with? What segment are you? Because it's so weirdly priced where it just doesn't make sense. Are you a flagship? Are you a mid-range? Figure out your price, stick to it, and don't jump up price every single launch. That just doesn't work, and it's honestly it's going to be a problem for you in the future. Number 2, reshape your damn marketing. It is absolutely horrible right now. And, you guys make such a big deal, especially if you guys remember the OnePlus 7 Pro. They made a huge deal about, we're saving money for you guys by not getting our phone IP rated. We don't want to waste that money, and we're going to pass the savings along to you. But they spend a big amount of money marketing that to us. And they spend, I want to say, millions of dollars on that marketing campaign to show us that they're saving money by not IP certifying their phone. And guess what they did? Next year, they IP certified their phones and pretended like that previous marketing campaign didn't exist at all. So this is a clear OnePlus trick. They're putting money into marketing. They're not putting it into their phones. Like, that is very clearly a big problem. pull their marketing budget. Pull down that marketing budget. Your brand is well known. People like your brand. You don't need to keep doing this. What you need to do is put your money into the phone, into the hardware. So instead of giving us that stupid monochromatic camera on the OnePlus 9 Pro, just don't give us that monochromatic and put that money into a better telephoto. Everybody who's gonna use these cameras is gonna appreciate that. Why wouldn't you do that? Well, because then you can't market that your phone has 4 cameras instead of 3, and then where do you stand there? Like, don't try to make the phone easy to market. Make it a phone that's good, it'll sell itself. I can't understand why your marketing is working like this. So put your money where your mouth is. Just don't keep hyping things up that you can't live up to. Number 3, software. Now, software, me not liking Oxygen OS right now is very opinionated. I know that I'm probably in the fairly small minority of people not liking Oxygen OS right now, but I don't like it. But I'm okay to live with that. What I'm not okay with is how slow these updates have gotten and how poorly they're handling security updates. Security updates should not be this difficult, especially on your flagship phone that's not even a year old. Like, it is not something that you should be this, you should be able to do this. Like, I don't know why you can't. Samsung, of all companies now, is good with their security updates, so I don't know why OnePlus isn't. Their software update speeds, not the security updates, even their software updates have become much slower than they used to be, and security updates, as I said, falling behind. It's just unacceptable on a $1,000 phone, and I just can't get around it. So those are the 3 big things, and of course there's a few other things I'd like to change, small stuff here and there, but I think these things are the 3 core things that would really reshape their business, and I think put them on a very good track. It's just, I don't think that anybody can disagree with me on these, regardless if you're a fan of OnePlus or not. It's just some very basic statements of facts that I'm not exaggerating in any way. This is exactly what's happening, and everybody can see this with their own eyes. I mean, maybe you might be a little bit oblivious to it, but I think that everything you're seeing is really right out there, and it's hard to not agree on. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you're a OnePlus user or potentially looking at upgrading to a OnePlus, or you're going to upgrade your current OnePlus, let me know what your thoughts are about these new phones down in the comments below. And if you have any opinions, please feel free to share them down below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on social media. I'll have all the handles right here on the screen and of course down in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.